Michael, I'm relieved you understand. It eases management to have a hirener like you step aside. I expressed my gratitude, but the young CEO didn't even look my way. I've dedicated 20 years to this company. Yet, when it comes time to be cut, it happens in the blink of an eye. A junior colleague has a pregnant wife and a young daughter. A peer lives with elderly parents who require care. So, it can't be helped. Without someone leaving, the company, like a ship, would sink. Therefore, it was the right decision. Yes. I keep telling myself. Perhaps, as a senior, it was my responsibility to tap someone on the shoulder, to think about someone's future, and I've shirked it. It's not that I sacrificed myself for someone. I'm just a coward. Holding my packed belongings, said goodbye to coworkers and leave the company. Everyone averted their eyes, afraid of being targeted, but they did hold a farewell party last week. Nobody knows what to do as the number of helpless sacrifices keeps increasing. I hope everyone can stay with the company a bit longer. I'm heading home now. After sending a text, I received a "good job" response with a bear holding a heart sticker. I wanted to hurry home, to see a familiar face and feel reassured. I'm home. The house smelled great before I opened the door, and my wife, Sarah, had prepared more dishes than could fit on the table. I've been job hunting ever since I was listed for redundancy, but I haven't found my next job yet. Tomorrow starts the daily routine of visiting the job center and writing resumes. Will I be able to find another job? The mortgage for the condo I live in with Sarah. We don't have children, but we also can't go on our regular trips for a while. What if I can find work? I start to frown, but then force myself to eat. Noticing my thoughts, Sarah cheerfully says, "You've worked hard up until today. Eat plenty, and let's just sleep tonight. You can start trying hard again tomorrow." When I was notified of the redundancy, Sarah didn't criticize me at all. "It can't be helped. Surely there will be a company out there looking for you. Don't worry, I'm working too. We'll make it work." She reassured me. For her sake too, I can't let it end here. I continued to visit the job center every day, keep sending out resumes. Days filled with well wishes. Eventually, I worried I might run out of companies to apply to. By the time a company decided to take me on, the seasons were about to change. "Michael, let's go for lunch. It can be a meeting too." I looked up to see a small face with a short haircut. It was always Olivia, who would casually check in whenever she sensed I was in trouble. "It's almost lunchtime," she said before heading back to her seat. Having been in sales my whole career, I struggled to adapt to the unique system of the new company. I took off my glasses, pressed the corners of my eyes, and stretched. "Ace, it's great that you've become friends with Liv, isn't it?" Tyler, sitting next to me, started a conversation. In the new company, everyone got along well, and from the first day, I was given the nickname Ace. I've gotten used to being called that, but it seems like it will take more time before I can call Tyler Spike like everyone else does. Liv is tough with guys. Really, if she doesn't like, she just doesn't like. You seem harmless and are all about your wife, so maybe you're safe. You don't even look like you'd hurt a fly. Tyler was muttering to himself. Harmless, huh? I smiled wryly and turned back to my PC to wrap up some system work before lunch. Our lunch, a mix of handover and strategy discussion, turned out to be pasta. While getting advice, I am eating my pasta. I bring up the earlier conversation with Tyler as a topic. Because I'm short, people often mistake my physical fitness for fragility. I've had bad experiences with men due to this misconception. I'm not comfortable around them. Olivia, who's only 4 feet 11 inches tall, does indeed look like a small animal with her tiny features. She talked about trying to grow taller during her school years by playing volleyball, but to no avail, then looked at me resentfully, wishing she could have 3.9 inches of my height. Michael, you seem like a harmless, good father figure, so you're fine. Oh, but if you know any good guys, please introduce them to me. She cleverly adds that last bit. I want to say she's cute and should have no trouble finding a boyfriend, but I refrain, as it might sound like harassment, and instead respond with a laugh. Am I a father figure even though I'm only 10 years older? After lunch, I'm called by my boss, Noah. I think I've found a good company to rejoin. But every company has its issues. Noah, tapping nervously at the corner of his computer, isn't someone I'm fond of, to be honest. So, Michael, about the sales targets, this is where we are. What's going on? Explain. I wonder how such a person can exist in this otherwise friendly company. To that extent, Noah was indeed a tyrant. He would nitpick over trivial matters, and he would intentionally start doing so in front of others. Tyler looks over, anxious. You're not assuming you'll get a pass because it's a new job, right? Or are you slacking off? Was your previous company just low standard? I haven't met the sales target yet, but I'm hopeful to reach it with the prospects. Just as I begin to recall the details from the lunch meeting, Olivia interrupts. Noah, Michael has a plan. We just discussed it. The system's updated with the projections. She stares him down as she speaks. And our approach here is different from his previous sector. Even you miss things in the system sometimes, Noah. Olivia and Noah don't get along. She disapproves of his habit of criticizing in front of everyone. Noah clearly doesn't enjoy Olivia's assertiveness. The tension is so palpable, it's almost audible. Just as I'm about to speak, Noah stands up. Olivia, you seem preoccupied with Michael, but what about your new clients? Are they okay? Frustrated, or perhaps out of arguments, Noah shifts the focus to attack her on a different issue. Before lunch, I sent you the presentation materials. I even used some of your previous data, so please check it. Okay. With a gesture that seemed to say never mind, he waved his hand dismissively in my direction. He's a dictatorial kind of boss, unwilling to admit defeat. I remember Tyler saying Noah, also a job hopper, is great at sales but can't shake off his big company habits. Pride might be at play since he's a man, and getting outdone by Olivia, a woman, must irk him. But since he's usually the one starting these unreasonable conflicts, I can't help but feel a sense of karma. Noah's supporters in the sales department are conveniently absent today, making his position weaker. About an hour before a major presentation, Olivia calls, sounding near tears. I've lost the USB drive with the presentation materials. The presentation, emphasized by Noah, was an out-of-town meeting with a potential client. Following Olivia's instructions, we all start searching around our desks. I find the USB driver in a drawer. Yes, we can make it. Relieved, we all watch as the USB driver is inserted into the computer, and I start attaching the data to an email for printing. Just in time, we can manage to pull everything together for the presentation. That's good. However, I discovered it was empty. Olivia, what does it mean to forget the data for such an important presentation? Olivia explained, without making excuses, that the company, which was considered a sure new deal thanks to her presentation, didn't even give the chance to present. Noah, along with his entourage, seemed to enjoy nitpicking Olivia. With her face turning red, Olivia could only repeat, I'm terribly sorry, it's my fault. When the clock struck the end of the workday, Tyler, looking exhausted, took Olivia home. Criticized by Noah and even the company president about possibly resigning, Olivia was completely drained. It's definitely strange, Tyler said, downing a can of beer. There's no way Liv would make such a mistake. After hearing the situation at the cafe, I was told that Tyler had taken a tired Olivia home. Surprised to see Tyler show up while I was working late at the office, I gratefully accepted the beer he offered. With no one else around, a little break seemed okay. Tyler sorted out the information Olivia had gathered. Of course, backups had been properly made of the USB driver, and it had been double-checked when the documents were prepared the day before. At that time, both USB drivers were intact, including a spare. That USB driver wasn't supposed to be at the company in the first place. On the day, neither of them was with her. The data had been collected painstakingly over 6 months. While attempting to restore the USB driver, it seemed like it was going to take some time. Listening while the restoration process continued, Tyler mentioned, "The presentation officials were quite indifferent. It's our fault, after all." "But you know," Tyler said, growing more insistent, "there are 2 things that concern me." As he began to say this, Tyler looked over at me. First, the data was expertly erased, making restoration difficult. And the second thing is, he hesitated a bit before continuing. The night before, Noah was at Olivia's desk. When I went back for a forgotten item, seeing Noah in the dark office made me wonder if he was involved. So, it was Noah. He won't admit it, though," Tyler said with a sigh. Even if they didn't get along, the extent of his actions seemed extreme, but there seemed to be more to it. After Olivia reported the USB driver missing, Noah called, so I connected him. Noah hastily hung up the office phone, went out to the emergency stairs, and redialed on his cell phone. I thought it was suspicious and followed him. He was asking, "Did you manage to stop it?" I think he was talking to Lucas from G Trading. G Trading, I repeated, surprised. The presentation opponent, Tyler confirmed. There might still be a chance. Back at my desk, the restoration was successful. I looked over the presentation materials. It might still be possible to salvage this situation without giving up. When I mentioned this to Tyler, he joked, "That's a bit out of character for you, Ace, isn't it? Were you always like this?" Saying this, I was met with laughter. "I'll give it a try, so please tell Olivia not to worry and to make sure she comes in tomorrow." I decided to have Tyler convey this message to Olivia. After returning home, I explained the entire situation to my wife, Sarah. I also shared my deductions, which were likely correct. Since I often talked about Olivia and even suggested inviting her over, the conversation about her went smoothly. After getting the go-ahead, I took the home phone. On the 3rd or 4th ring, someone answered. "Hello, this is Michael. It's been a while." Images of Olivia's meticulous presentation, reflecting her personality, came to mind. The next morning, the company phone rang first thing. "This is Lucas from G Trading. Is Olivia available?" Olivia, answering the phone, looked incredulous. "Michael, what kind of magic did you use?" She was astounded to say that she got another chance to present. "That's great," I replied. "It wasn't magic. The president of G Trading, Mr. Thompson, is Sarah's father. This means he is my father-in-law. He had suggested joining his company several times when I was job hunting. When Sarah and I decided to get married, we chose to make it on our own without relying on her father's large company. It took time to find a new job, and though thoughts of my father-in-law crossed my mind often, I felt relying on him would betray my promise to Sarah. I will make Sarah happy with my own efforts." I had vowed this in front of her father, the president of a major company. When I explained the situation this time, my father-in-law knew about Olivia. He described her as that small yet earnest woman. When I asked if she could have another chance to present, my father-in-law said she wanted to do it even without the materials, but Lucas was quite resistant at that time. Furthermore, he said, despite the manager there being his relatives, I thought it odd how coldly he treated her. Everyone was anxiously waiting for Olivia to return from her presentation, constantly glancing at the clock. I was sitting at my computer but couldn't concentrate at all. Just having the presentation heard would be enough. I had no intention of asking my father-in-law for anything else. The presentation was excellent after all. When Olivia returned, everyone immediately surrounded her. Tyler, speaking for the group, nervously asked, "Liv, how did it go?" Tyler. Olivia's eyes welled up with tears. "It's okay. Even if it didn't work out, there are other opportunities," Tyler began, but Olivia interrupted him. "They're interesting it all to us." As she finished, the men cheered. Tyler hugged Olivia. She looked at me and gave a smile. Noah and Lucas were indeed in cahoots. Regarding the USB driver issue, we checked the security cameras and computer operation records to see if it might have been tampered with by a thief, to ensure there was no way they could deny it. Noel apparently wanted to teach Olivia a lesson because he disliked her. Naturally, President Harrison and other employees severely reprimanded him, and he was put on home leave pending further disciplinary action. After that presentation, I ended up working with Olivia more frequently. Her enthusiastic approach to work only increased her popularity. "Please let me thank you for this, Ace," she insisted, so much so that my wife, wanting to meet her, suggested we host a tacos party at our home. Appointing a disgruntled Olivia as a chief tacos maker, my wife laughed. "Olivia, you're surprisingly clumsy, aren't you? It's my first time making tacos. I just need more practice," Olivia retorted, pouting as she produced more tacos lookalikes. "Ace, I really can't thank you enough for everything," she expressed her gratitude. I felt thankful, although I always thought I was the one being helped. My father-in-law also mentioned he judged the content impartially, without bias. Olivia's personality truly shone through in her presentation. "Since I'm an only child and always wanted a sister, I'm happy," said Sarah, who has been calling Olivia out for tea and movies, enjoying her company. Sarah seemed to have a good feeling about Olivia from the first meeting and invited some male friends to the next barbecue. Kevin, who enjoys bouldering, is an employee at my father-in-law's company and often goes fishing with him. Olivia should go out to eat with Kevin next time, Sarah had unilaterally decided. Despite her protests, Olivia often found herself laughing during her conversations with Kevin. "Kevin is looking for a girlfriend, and I think he's a good guy," Sarah said, playing Cupid. I wondered if I'd be asked to be a matchmaker if these two ended up marrying, a thought that made Sarah laugh at my premature musings.